A beautiful afternoon, just a slight breeze, but under sunny skies in the scenic town of Elora, Ontario, home of Grand River Raceway, where today we present Industry Day 2022, highlighted by two-year-old pacers in both the Battle of the Bells for the fillies and the Battle of Waterloo. $200,000 plus on the line for Colt Pacers. Great to be here. Mark McKelvey alongside Greg Blanchard here. And it's one of those venues, Mark, that we're always excited to get to. Really second to none when it comes to watching harness racing live in Ontario.
I probably sound like a broken record, but once again, here we are at another event in our province where we're back to where we were pre-pandemic. There's a great crowd here today. The backstretch is absolutely lined with vehicles and RVs and tents and trailers. It's a good atmosphere here today, and it doesn't get much better than an afternoon at Grand River Raceway.
Great racing on track here this afternoon. Ontario Sire Stakes action, gold divisions, three-year-old filly pacers as well. A lot to do for the families. We've got food trucks. We've got things for the young kids as well. Some for the adults here as well. Cold beverages and that type of thing. The backstretch is buzzing. Just a wonderful atmosphere today. We're all smiles. There's no question about that here today. Hoping to put a smile or two on the face of our viewers this afternoon as well. We've got some great giveaways throughout the program. Our friends at Grand River Raceway have put together this beautiful prize package. So everybody who leaves us a comment today in the chat, you're automatically entered for a chance to win that prize. We'll announce the winner at the end of the show. So leave us your comments, questions. We always enjoy hearing from you. And we've already got a number of viewers online today from across North America and other parts of the world as well. It's wonderful to have you with us. Winback Farm, the sponsor today of the main event, and they've given us some awesome backpacks that we're going to give away randomly during the show as well. So it is going to be a whole lot of fun. Great to have everybody on board here this afternoon and a nice crowd enjoying the action on track here at beautiful Grand River Raceway. Other member of our broadcast team standing by in the paddock right now. We're going to head over and join Rob Reed Jr.
Guys, I'm always excited to be here at Grand River Raceway on Industry Day. Usually I do the broadcast here at Grand River from home, but today and every Industry Day I'm always here in person because it's such a great card. And on the show today we've got two good undercard races. We've got a preferred pace right now, an overnight race, and of course we've got the co-main event, the Battle of the Bells, and the main event, the Winback Farms Battle of Waterloo. Just an incredible day of racing, and I think Team McNair, like they did in the eliminations, is going to have a big day again today, as they always do here in Elora, Ontario.
Thank you, Rob. Appreciate you joining us. He'll be on for the first portion of the show. Special guest is going to be joining us well. James McDonald, a bit of a freak, non-racing related injury for him, so he's going to be sidelined for a bit. We're going to take advantage, and we're going to have him in here joining us here today as well.
A McDonald that can talk? Shocker.
Who
No,
knew?
but we love when we get the opportunity to catch up with James, and well, unfortunately he can't be out on the track. He'll be able to slot right in here at our desk a little later on, and it'll be great to pick his brain, get his insight. Of course, he was in these eliminations for the Battle of the Bells and Battle of Waterloo last week, so a great perspective he'll be able to provide.
We've got horses on the track getting set to go for the 8th race. It's going to be the first of our 4 today. We'll quickly let you know what we have coming up this afternoon on our 4-pack of coverage. A nice-looking preferred handicap pace here. It will be a field of 6 with the scratch of number 2, Yacht Sealster, but a very competitive group. An overnight event in the 9th. Some good-looking youngsters there who are non-winners of a little under 5,000 in the last 3, setting up for the 2 co-main events, Battle of the Bells, Rookie Filly Pacers, and of course the Battle of Waterloo, the signature race each and every year here at Grand River Raceway, this year chasing a purse of a little over $200,000. Quick thought on this 8th race, Mark, as we got Pacers actually moving in behind the gate. We're going to get right to the action here. Who's your pick in the field of 6?
Well, I've got my eyes locked on Ideal Perception. He goes from the outside last Monday here at Grand River. Well, he put up some huge fractions, 26 to the quarter, 54 and 3, went on to a 151 and 3 score. What's he got for a follow-up? I'm very excited to see.
Track announcer Gary Guy has the call of race number 8.
Field 4, race number 8. Into the stretch drive, gathering speed, approaching the start. And They're at the start of the run. Casimir Ritchie P, Braveview Bondi, Armor Sealster from the outside. Then it is Don't Poke the Dragon, Salzburg Victor, and Ideal Perception. Into the backstretch they go. Casimir Ritchie P establishes the early lead. Braveview Bondi is second away. Armor Sealster now is going to wheel to the pylons third. Then it is Don't Poke the Dragon, Ideal Perception. Salzburg Victor trails the field. Casimir Ritchie P at 5-1 has the lead as they race on to the opening quarter. Braveview Bondi is racing second for Trevor Henry on the back of Casimir Ritchie P and Louis Bois. 26-2 the opening quarter. Armor Sealster third. Don't Poke the Dragon is racing fourth, and then Ideal Perception and Salzburg Victor, and they race off the turn. And it is Casimir Ritchie P. Braveview Bondi up closer in the pocket, and now Armor Sealster is going to flash to the outside first over, giving cover to Don't Poke the Dragon. And Ideal Perception is racing fifth. And now it is Armor Sealster who's coming on. Armor Sealster is dueling with Casimir Ritchie P. And Armor Sealster is taking the front. Don't Poke the Dragon now on the outside, trying to track down Armor Sealster. Armor Sealster, Don't Poke the Dragon. Ideal Perception has moved up and racing for his Braveview Bondi. It is Armor Sealster as they roll the backstretch to 3/4 off to that 54-3 halftime. Armor Sealster leads it now by a length and 3/4. For now, turning back, Don't Poke the Dragon. Ideal Perception is on the outside third and is coming pretty rapidly now. It is Armor Sealster, Ideal Perception as they turn for home. Armor Sealster and Double J to the inside. Ideal Perception and Anthony Hahn on the outside. Armor Sealster is game though. Armor Sealster turns back Ideal Perception. Then Braveview Bondi, and fourth is between Salzburg Victor and Don't Poke the Dragon. A mile of 1:52-1. Armor Sealster.
That's a big trip today, 1:52-1. A nice afternoon, Mark, but the wind is gustier than it may appear on camera. So 52-1, a clocking that I think turns some heads today and gives us an indication what we might expect later on this afternoon.
Had a real good feeling they were going to put up some big fractions. I was a little surprised to see it was Casimir Ritchie P, though, who put up that opening quarter 26-2 to the half and 54-3. Obviously, there was some difficulties after that point, and Louis Watt just got him out into the safety lane. That being said, big mile here today by Armor Sealster. Got set up, and he was able to capitalize. Thought coming off the last turn, Ideal Perception was actually going to reel him in, and then once they straightened away, Armor Sealster found another gear and secures the victory in 1:52-1.
Real nice little horse, compact son of Bettor's Delight, sub 150 record taken last year at age 3. He's made the transition pretty effectively so far at 4. Faced a tough assignment very early in the campaign. He raced in Confederation Cup eliminations, and he was quite competitive, but that probably took a bit out of him early on. Starting to get back on track, I think, now, and that's a real nice confidence-building type win for this guy. Beautifully gated son of Bettor's Delight. Jody Jameson, a regular face on Industry Day at Grand River, gets the victory here, and he was the bettor's choice at 6-5. Let's welcome in some of our viewers tuning in today, and we've got people watching from far and wide. Michelle Hogan-Casson from the beautiful Bruce Peninsula. We were up that way on the weekend, of course, Mark. Jackie Warrington is tuning in today from British Columbia. Jenny Elaine from Prince Edward Island joining us as well. Deb Watts a little closer by. She's in the backstretch and got the program tuned in today. James Pearson, a friend of ours from Scotland, who we have on the show from time to time, is joining us. Sean Hunt from Cape Breton, and many, many more. Always great to hear from you. Everybody that chimes in today, you've got that chance to win the Grand River prize package. And we've got those also those prize packages to give away as well randomly today from Winback Farm. Some nice backpacks.
Lots to give away here today, and we got 4 races, 1 down, 3 to go. Obviously, the main events are coming up a little later on. The one thing I wanted to point out about that preferred handicap, and one of the things I always enjoy about Industry Day over the years, is usually there's a little boost at times to those preferred races, maybe a little purse increase, and then in some years you'll see a horse like Armor Sealster come from Woodbine Mohawk Park and have to take on the regular heavy hitters on the half-mile oval. And it's always fun to see how those showdowns go. I was kind of rooting for the little guy, I guess you could say, in Ideal Perception there to come through to protect his home turf, so to speak, as he has raced here quite a bit. He's transitioned over to Woodbine Mohawk Park a lot this season, but that being said, he's a familiar face on these half-mile ovals. He loves racing over this strip, and you can't reel in Armor Sealster. That being said, pretty good race to set the tone for our 4-pack here today on COSA-TV.
The Preferred, always an intriguing event as part of the undercard. We remember the trend for a number of years where veteran Button Up, who was a winner of the Battle of Waterloo and came back to win the Industry Day Preferred, I think something like 3 or 4 times in later years. Yeah, one of the great storylines. And we seem to have a new one every year here as part of Industry Day, and we look forward to seeing what this year brings. So it's Armor Sealster kicking off our coverage with a 152-1 victory. Time now for our first commercial break, and we will be back with more in just a moment. You're watching COSA-TV.
As the industry's leading sales agency, Preferred Equine recently introduced its exciting new online sales portal, Preferred Equine Online. Developed by our experienced sales team, the powerful new platform with cutting-edge technology makes buying and selling easy from the comfort of your home or office over any device. Our experienced sales team offers full customer service for buyers and sellers as it relates to the collection, distribution, and transfer of the horses offered. Sellers can enter a horse as easy as 1, 2, 3 with a searchable database while allowing comments, photos, and other documents. Buyers can view live pedigrees, past performances, and race videos. To create your account or learn more, visit www.preferredequine.com or call 914-773-7777.
Win one soon in Supersonic Jet. Bob Ben and John's got the lead. Go, Daddy, go. And John Campbell bearing down from second, just about a half length from the front. And on the inside third is Sporting the Look as they are about to turn from in the Battle of Waterloo. 3/4, 125-3. Bob Ben and John is clinging to a tenuous lead. Go, Daddy, go is charging for John Campbell as they come on down the lane. And Sportskeeper to the outside, up the inside now is Sporting the Look as they come to the finish. On the outside, Go, Daddy, go! Go, Daddy, go! It's a Hall of Fame Battle of Waterloo. Then on the inside, Sporting the Look in third was Bob Ben and John. 1:55 flat. Go, Daddy, go!
That was Go, Daddy, Go back in 2014, winning for now retired John Campbell. Had a chance yesterday to drive through Ailsa Craig on my way home from a drive up to Clinton Raceway yesterday, and there was the big sign of John Campbell as he entered the small community. Of course, that's where he grew up, just outside of London, and part of his double Hall of Fame career winning the Battle of Waterloo. Here are the prices from race number 8, Armor Sealster. The bettors had it right, $4.40. Ideal Perception, really good runner-up effort from that one. Braveview Bondi perhaps got the worst of the trip scenario when all was said and done, but does manage to salvage third. Your exactor's worth $16.90, all the way up to the Superfecta combination. A $1 ticket, $88.20 in that short field of 6. Got another overnight race getting set to go here in a moment. And as mentioned, James McDonald, reigning driver of the year in Canada, he's going to join us for part of our coverage here this afternoon as well as he's sidelined. We'll find out a little bit more about the injury and his status and how long he expects to be out of action. Just to get things going here on the show today, as always, we like to give you a comment or something to think about, and we want to know who is the greatest 2-year-old, a trotter or pacer, that you've seen in your lifetime. Of course, 2-year-old pacers in the spotlight today, Mark, with the fillies in the Battle of the Bells, and of course the colt pacers, colts and geldings in the Battle of Waterloo. We want to know which 2-year-old, whether it be a trotter or pacer, was the best that you had ever seen as a rookie? You've got a comment on that?
I thought our question the other night was really tough. This one I put right up there as well. There's obviously a lot of candidates. Every year we get to see some rookies come out and dazzle. I think back to one of the most memorable performances, I guess I could say, by a 2-year-old that I recall, as it's really picking up the wind, is Rock and Roll Hanover when he broke the 150 barrier in the Metro Pace with, was shockingly at the time, looking back now, a bit of an upset score. And then that basically was the launching pad for him to go on to superstardom. We're pretty fortunate here in the province. We have a lot of great stake races for youngsters that we get to watch, including the races we're going to see today. So that's a really good question. Looking forward to seeing what some of the answers are.
Yeah, Some Beach Somewhere will come to mind for a lot of people because he started his career right here at Grand River. He, I think, had one qualifier under his belt, debuted here in an elimination for the Battle of Waterloo, and won in Canadian record time, 1:54.2. Unheard of to do that in your first start off of a qualifier in 2 minutes and change at Truro. And we know what he went on to do, including a win in the Metro in sub 150 time. But for me, Arts Place is another one. I got to see him in person win the 2-year-old Breeders' Crown that year at Pompano Park. To this day, I've never seen a better individual performance on that night than he turned in what was unheard of time for the era, and just one of the many. So, yeah, let us know what you think. Always interested to get everybody's take on these questions. It's just, frankly, a matter of opinion. And everybody that does leave their opinion for us today, you're automatically entered to win that prize package. So let's look ahead to race number 8, give you a look at the field page, or race number 9, I should say. Race 8 just completed. Second one coming up on our 4-pack is a non-winners event as we welcome in more of our viewers joining us today. Barb McNeil from Cape Breton, Bob Roach from Atlantic, Canada, tuning in from Moncton. Linda Rainey from the Canadian Horse Racing Hall of Fame. She's getting set for the big induction gala this week. And great to have her tuning in. Mike Piercy, another of our regular viewers, J.D. Varnell. And some early mentions. One of them is on the trot side, and it's Paige Brenner Mission Brief. That's a good one. And I think trainer Ron Burke might concur with that.
I think he probably would, and think of the string of youngsters that Yannick Gingras got to drive, especially those trotting fillies over the years. It seemed every year he had a top-notch rookie trotting filly. A 2-year-old that steps out to me now that we start moving over to the trotting side of things, Snow White. And she just was absolutely fantastic in her rookie campaign, one of those that kind of took the racing scene by storm. There's a lot of good options out there. Looking forward to seeing some of the responses as our afternoon continues on.
All right, again, there's a look at the field for the upcoming 9th. Mark, maybe just a quick thought. Any trends or anything that we've noticed today that we should be looking at?
I think speed usually favors here. If you're up front, you got to be pretty close. That being said, we've seen some big fractions set up in some of these races earlier today, and that's allowed those that have sat off in the early going to be able to pick up the pieces. So we'll continue to see if there are any trends. That being said, I am curious to see how the wind will play, and it's definitely picking up. You might not be able to tell watching along, but just based on the tent we're in, which is right in the infield here at Grand River Raceway, it's starting to blow a little bit, so it might become a bit more of a factor. That being said, taking a look at the forecast, if you looked first thing this morning, you thought we'd be sitting here just getting drenched. It looked like we were going to see a lot of rain this afternoon. Now they're calling for it a little bit later in the afternoon. Fingers crossed that we'll get this card in before that rain does fall down here in Elora.
3 races away from the Battle of Waterloo. The winningest trainer in the history of the event, not surprisingly, Carl Jamieson, but a gentleman that's closing in with each passing year is local conditioner Greg McNair. Right now he's standing by with Rob Reed Jr.
All right, I'm here in the paddock with Greg McNair, and I'm going to play a big part today in these 2 races, both the Bells and the Battle of Waterloo. Couldn't have really asked for a better elimination day for those horses?
Oh yeah, they were all supers, and then of course you get to draw inside the 5, and they all drew pretty good. So I hope they're ready to go.
And you know, on Industry Day here at Grand River, it's always a family affair, right? You've combined for 6 victories, Battle of Bells and Battle of Waterloo, with your son Doug. Talk about how special that is.
Oh, it's good. Like the first one would be the biggest one for, well, it was both of our first wins. So, but it's real big for us. This is our home track. Like we come over here and train and teach them their early lessons here. So it's nice track, and it's nice to be here.
And in the bells, you've got shake it twice, and you get to work from the the pole position. Last time, ran down a good one on the front end, and kind of from an improbable spot on the final turn there, gapped out a little bit. Do you think she's finding her best stride right now?
Oh yeah, that was just her third start, and they kicked home real big that race, that last piece. Anyways, both the horses raced big.
All right, and how much input do you have, Greg, in Doug's decision? Because in the Battle of Waterloo, you had a tough one. Sounds good, or the moment arose. So, do you have much input, or do you just let him make the call?
No, I let him do that on his own. I had nothing to do with it. If you tell him what to do, it never works out for sure that way.
And if you had to pick one in there, I mean, Doug made his choice. Which one would you say has the better chance of emerging victorious today?
Well, the one he chose, he'd been racing in the golds, and the other guy, he's just racing one gold. So I don't know. They're both pretty handy horses off the gate. So I mean, they're nice horses. They seem to be suited for this place, I think.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. Greg McNair, good luck today, and he's going to play a big part, folks. He's got 3 entrants between the Battle of Bells and the Battle of Waterloo.
Hi, I'm Blake McIntosh. We've got starters in the Battle of Bells and Battle of Waterloo at Grand River Raceway. I love Industry Day. It's it's a local event for Ontario, and it's a great day. They put on a great show, and I really look forward to it every year. I pay most of my 2-year-old Ontario sire into it, and I enjoy it. I think that if we can win this race again, it'd be really great. Sports Column was the favorite in the Battle of Waterloo the year we won it. I was still nervous. That was the first big race we'd won in our career, and we'd won a couple golds and stuff, but that was the first big one I consider a big race for us. And he's probably my favorite horse of all times. I really love that horse. And going into the day, I was really nervous because we've been beat a couple times in the battle and in the Battle of the Bells when we were the favorite. And it was a great day. I'll remember that day for the rest of my life. Well, we aim for this race every year. We try and get them in the first 2 qualifiers at Mohawk, and then we try and get the first couple stake races into them and have them ready. And we train them, accordingly. And we'll back off after this race for a couple weeks to try and recoup a little bit of progress back for them, and hopefully they come out of it well. They're all showing they're fit and healthy, and that's the main thing going in. In the Battle of Waterloo, I really think the better be a terror horse. If he gets a trip, can be right there. He's a trip horse, and he got a little bit tortured there in the limb there, 3 wide from the 5/8 on, and then battling. He likes to be on a helmet a little bit longer and then squirt for home. He's got a lot of talent. I trained his mom, and his mom was the exact same way. Liked to trip and then liked to fly home. Wall Street Bell has got a lot of talent. He's got the 8-hole this year, so it's going to be a little tough. He hooked on a line coming for home the other night, but we think we've got that figured out. He trained excellent this morning. I wish he had drawn inside a bit, but it's racing, and anything can happen in a race. We can hope we can get second or third over and get a good trip, and everything works out for both of them, and we have a good finish. And then Western Flames, she's not the most talented filly we've got, but she's probably got the most heart and most desire of any filly we're training this year. It's just like kids, like some kids have a lot of talent and they just don't want to do it, and some just try hard, and she just tries every week.
All right, another local trainer that's well represented today, and that he'll have his sights on both of those finals later this afternoon. That's Blake McIntosh. Time for another commercial break. When we come back, James McDonald will be in the co-host seat. Mark will be taking over in our paddock location. You're watching coverage of Industry Day 2022 from Grand River.
By now, you know the name COSA-TV, an industry leader producing unique, high-quality digital content promoting harness racing in Ontario. Features, virtual programming, live events, and more. COSA-TV has it covered. Follow our social media channels and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page to view the latest content. And if you're looking to bet your favorite Ontario track, check out hpibet.com. COSA-TV, taking Ontario racing global.
Enjoy the thrill of the race anywhere, anytime with HPIBet.com. Join for free and use your smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch and wager when you can't be at the track. Stream live racing from over 450 tracks. Bet with ease from anywhere. It's safe and secure. Get rewards, race alerts, tips, and more. For a limited time, get $100 when you become a member. Plus, 1 month free live race streaming and your first bet is on us. Go to HPIBet.com to join for free today.
Fast in first, they roll on towards 3/4. Twin B Watching's got the lead. Twin B Watching, Better's Wish now charging on the outside. Twin B Watching and Better's Wish as they race away on that final turn. Bronx Sealter with the lead. Bronx Sealter and Better's Wish. Bronx Sealter leading Better's Wish is racing second 3/4, 1:24.1. And the field turns for home. Better's Wish trying to put away the favorite Bronx Sealter as they come on down the stretch drive. And right now, the lead is just about a nose fighting back. Bronx Sealster center of the track is Better's Wish. Better's Wish and Bronx Sealster. Bronx Sealster turns back. Better's Wish third was Sports Teen. And fast in first was fourth, 150.
All right, we continue on Industry Day 2022. Getting a look at the horses getting set to go for race number 9. Good-looking overnight contest here. Solid field of 8, and they're being called to the gate here in just a second. Quickly want to welcome in James McDonald. We'll chat more with him. He'll be with us the rest of the way today. James, nice to have you on board. We'll talk a little bit about your injury later, but a quick status update as the gate starts to roll.
Yeah, I'm just waiting to get some reports back from my original doctors. I've met with my sports therapist that I work with and you know, kind of had some positive feedback. So barring any bad setbacks or bad news I find out tomorrow, hoping to be back on the bike pretty soon.
Great to hear. Again, we're going to talk to James more throughout the afternoon, but the starting gate rolling for race 9 back upstairs to Gary Guy.
It's a field of 8. It is race number 9. They are gathering speed, approaching the start. And they're at the start of the rough. Devil's Peak, Jules Dragon, Propert's Legacy and Night Watchman. Those your first 4. Then it is Magnum Moon and Bit of Luck. And then it is back to Crosscut. And at the beach, Hanover is surfing from a trailing spot. Jules Dragon with the lead. Propert's Legacy is probing for an inside spot and is going to find the pocket. Racing third right now is Devil's Peak and Night Watchman with a spot on the inside. Fourth in front of Magnum Moon. And then it is Bit of Luck and Crosscut. And at the beach, Hanover's back trailing the field. Jules Dragon, the 3-5 favorite to an opening quarter at 27-1. Leads Propert's Legacy, who's 19-1 on the board. Devil's Peak is on the inside third. Night Watchman, now we can watch that one coming first over. And is about 3 off the lead as they race on towards us. And then Magnum Moon is spotted second over on the back of Night Watchman. And then it is Bit of Luck and Crosscut. And then back to At the Beach, Hanover as they race their way on past the half in 57 seconds. And leading the way is Jules Dragon. Jules Dragon, Propert's Legacy. Night Watchman shipping away on the outside. But Jules Dragon off that 57-second halftime of the 29-4 second panel still has control. Leads in length and a half over Propert's Legacy. 3 wide. Magnum Moon now is moving and is coming on gamely in pursuit of Jules Dragon. Jules Dragon, Magnum Moon, Propert's Legacy. Devil's Peak backing away Night Watchman. They race on the final turn, 3/4, 125-3. Magnum Moon now is moved up and taken over the front from Jules Dragon. Magnum Moon and Jules Dragon. Devil's Peak and racing for the Propert's Legacy. Magnum Moon as they come on down the stretch drive. Magnum Moon is going to be the winner. And then second is between Devil's Peak and Jules Dragon. And then it was Crosscut, a mile of 1:54-2. Magnum Moon. And Robert, you nailed Magnum Moon at 5-1.
Yeah, you listen, Gary, we love this horse here at the river and getting back.
Magnum Moon, an impressive off-the-pace win. James, we were talking off camera that's not an easy move to make here at Grand River, especially into windy conditions like we have today.
No, for sure. You know, anytime you're not on the lead or close to the lead on a half-mile track's not ideal. But as in my opinion, at Grand River, it's worse than even most half-mile tracks. It's a tough track to make up ground, especially 5, 6, 7 out of it halfway up the backside.
Alrighty, so again, we're joined by the reigning driver of the year in Canada, James McDonald, who off to another fantastic start at the midway point of this season, kind of on pace to duplicate what he did last year, but on the sidelines for a little while. And, you came in here, we weren't sure what to expect. You look none the worse for wear. You said you're feeling fine. So tell us, for those tuning in, is kind of wondering, where has James been? What occurred?
Well, I was out on the lake with my girlfriend and her family, and just had a little incident where I didn't test the water before I dove in, and I dove in and hit the top of my head and ended up fracturing a couple vertebrae in my back. It's very lucky, we're laughing and joking and saying, it's tough to miss time, but very lucky to be even able to get back in the bike. Sometimes you take for granted how fragile life is.
I was going to say, on one hand, very unlucky that it happened, and to happen to do it in a spot that was on the shallow side, but very fortunate that it wasn't worse. And good lesson learned, right? Just when you're and you said during the day you were checking every spot you dove in. You were checking beforehand. That was the one time you didn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. Our parents preached to us when we were kids, and my friends, anytime we were on a boat or anytime I've been on a lake, really, for that matter, it's been check the water before you dive in, check the water before you dive in. And this was just one of those times I made a real mistake, and I was very fortunate to not be hurt badly.
So you're on the sidelines, and that's the tough part, but you said the prognosis seems good, and you'll find out more tomorrow on that, hoping you can be back in action soon. Has to be difficult to sit on the sidelines on a day like today, especially where you likely would have been quite busy and competing in many of these big events. But is it a case of, hey, you just got to deal with it, try and make the best of it, maybe freshen up a little bit and get ready for hopefully a strong back half?
Yeah, it's just one of those things, there's not much you can do about it. You can sit on the sidelines and feel sorry for yourself, but that isn't going to solve any problems. It's fun watching Battle of Waterloo and Industry Day. It's one of my favorite days of the year for sure. I've had a lot of success on this day. I'd like to be out there. I would have loved to drive Silver Label. I was a regular driver I love On Gate as well, so I missed a couple good ones already today, but hey, that's like I said, I'm just trying to stay positive, looking at the upside. I'm lucky to be, missing them and not missing them permanently. So hopefully I'll get them back in the near future, and hopefully I can have some more success this year.
And prior to this, were you happy with the way the first half of the year had gone?
Oh yeah, it's been sensational. Like you said, just carried right over from last year. I ended 2020 strong, and then 2021 was just a dream come true. And 2022 has been pretty much a carbon copy of 2021. I haven't hit the home run on the big giant stake race like I did last year with the Maple Leaf Trot, but we still got a lot of big ones to come, and who knows? You win one of those, and it's a really terrific year. You would like to win one every year. It's hard to do, and I've been fortunate the last few to win a few of them.
Well, you've kept your sense of humor. I was calling you the Kurt Angle of harness racing when we came on. I watched a documentary on him last night. It went through something very similar. In fact, I think he broke vertebrae in his neck multiple times in his career. So hopefully it's just once for you, James, and that the damage was minimal, and that we're going to see you back in the bike sooner than later. James will be with us the rest of the way, so we'll get his perspective, a unique perspective, always enjoyable, as we look ahead to our two major stake races, the Battle of the Bells and the Battle of Waterloo. They're both coming up. Let's take another quick commercial break and back to set up that Battle of the Bells next.
Harness Racing Update is the sport's most comprehensive and timely news source. HRU covers the sport from all angles with news, features, photography, opinion, and analysis of racing. Also, HRU covers breeding and sales, as well as industry stories you need to know. It's all delivered by a deep, diverse, and talented team of writers and photographers. And the best news is that it's free to subscribe. Subscribe to HRU today for free at harnessracingupdate.com and see what everyone is talking about.
For over 25 years, Tara Hill Stud has worked with partners to help produce champion stallions. We are proud to have bred great racehorses like Fade Out, Shower Play, Precious Delight, and There's a Demon in Me. Our stallions, past and present, have had tremendous success while making a huge impact on racing across North America. Mr. Levesque, Mach 3, Cadabra, Muscle Mass, and Precious Bunny, to name a few. Our stallions' progeny have won major events, including the Hambletonian. Tara Hill Stud are currently standing 9 of the industry's top stallions. Alarm Detector, Control the Moment, Dance and Lou, Flanagan Memory, Green Manalishi, He's Watching, Muscle Mass, Resolve, and Sports Writer. Our facility is modern, our staff knowledgeable. Consider Tara Hill Stud when choosing a home for your stallion. Tara Hill Stud, where champions stand and champion yearlings are raised. Log on to terrahills.com.
On the back of Ron, and also coming now, so head over to the outside of the inside sports box, and then that is back to Twin Bee Raptor. It is Better Have My Money and James McDonald with the lead. Aaron Wood-Eves is right there now, and is going to come to the outside. And also on the outside, Century Inspector, 3/4, 124. And it is Better Have My Money. Aaron Wood-Eves took back down to the inside. And then Century Inspector. Stu's Watching is racing fourth, and now so ahead of her. Dueling with Stone Carver for fifth, and then on the sports box on down the stretch. Round they come in the Battle of Waterloo final. Better Have My Money. Aaron Wood-Eves is chasing. Better Have My Money, and Aaron Wood-Eves. Better Have My Money was able to hold off Aaron Wood-Eves, and then it was Century Inspector, Stu's Watching, and Stone Carver 150.
Welcome back to Grand River Raceway. Quick look at the prices from that 9th race. Magnum Moon mild upset. Post 2 victory, $12.40. Jay Harris doing the driving for trainer James Wellwood. 2, 1, 5, and 4. Your top 4 there. Battle of the Bells final coming up next. 2-year-old fillies chasing $155,000 in prize money. Eliminations were contested a week ago. Let's take a look back and see how things unfolded.
Sweetie and Lions Better Day leads it by about 2 1/4, but now Shake It Twice is closing. It is Lions Better Day and Shake It Twice as they turn for home. Lions Better Day on the inside. Lions Better Day and Shake It Twice. Lions Better Day being hard chased, and on the outside it is close, but it might have been Shake It Twice against Lions Better Day. They were flying at the finish. Shake It Twice mid. Backs away, and then Western Flames. They are about to turn for home. Luke Glamour on the inside trying to hold off Brindley Sealter. Brindley Sealter, they turn on down the stretch ride with Luke Glamour. As they come on down the lane, and Becca Mitchell has moved up, or rather that is Western Flames third. They come on to the finish, and on the outside, Brindley Sealter just gets there over Blue Glamour. And then it was Western Flames in best show, but the win goes to Brindley Sealter, 156 and is racing 3 wide, and then Birdie 3. It is Big Plans now under siege as Imadol is coming hard. It is Imadol and Big Plans on the inside trying to fight back. One Last Wish is out wide, and Glenborough looking to drive up the inside as they come to the finish. Big Plans and Glenborough. Big Plans wins it. Glenborough second, Imadol third, and Birdie 3 was fourth, 156 and 3.
That was a look back at the eliminations from a week ago, and James, you were part of those elims. We were talking specifically about one of them where you were second with Lions Better Day behind Shake It Twice. You kind of thought you were home free on the last turn, and Doug's filly really surprised you the way she kicked in and went by.
Yeah, I mean, in my defense, I had a broken back, so, I mean, there's that. But no, my filly was good. She was strong in the last turn. I was just sitting on her, and then Doug kind of caught me off guard. Like, he popped out of the hole, and I really thought mine was just like pacing her guts out and was gone. And Doug got close to me halfway down the lane. I said I'm still going to hang on, and then his just kicked into another gear and nailed me last step. So definitely an impressive performance by both, but you got to give it to Shake It Twice. I had fractions my own way and got nailed, so good effort.
Okay, well, we checking in again with our viewers online today. It's time for a giveaway. And we've got folks watching, as always, all across Canada, parts of the U.S., even across the pond. We've got friends from Scotland tuning in today and elsewhere. Great to have you all on board. So here's a question I pose to you and everybody that if you can come up with the answer, first person to come up with it will monitor our social feed here. Will win one of those win-back prize packages that we have for you here today. And we want to ask you which two horses James was able to guide to victory in the Canadian Pacing Derby. He's won the Canadian Pacing Derby twice in recent years. Can you name both horses that James was able to guide to victory? Let us know in the chat. And again, the first person to get that right will take home that win-back prize. Win-back Farm, of course, the title sponsor today of the Battle of Waterloo, coming up over in race number 11. Let's go to speed records here at Grand River Raceway as we focus in on that. What do you think, James, when you see the track condition the way it's playing today, weather with that bit of a breeze, can we threaten any of these existing records?
It's going to be tough. I mean, anytime it's windy like this, yeah, like on a big track, sometimes wind pushing you down the lane, it can really help. And, you know, it doesn't hurt you as much up the backside. You're kind of sinking into them and not pushing them as hard. But when it's windy on a half-mile track, I think it makes it extremely difficult to go big speeds. I like 54 and 2 Alicorn. That's going to be a tough feat for these fillies to break. 52 and 3 Colts and 53 and 4 Semi-Automatic. That's actually me, Tony O'Sullivan, in the elimination. But yeah, those are going to be tough. I find wind to be a major factor, especially with young horses.
All right, looking at that question we posed, we've got someone with the correct answer, Dave Maneri. Dave Maneri.
There's a shocker.
Yeah, Dave, a student of the game, certainly, and he knew the right answer. Courtly Choice, Dorsadoro Hanover, Andy Carnegie chiming in with the correct answer as well. But Dave was first off the hop, so congratulations, winning that win-back swag package. We'll have another giveaway before the end of the show coming up as well. So yeah, 54 and 2, that's the 2-year-old filly mark, tied jointly by Alicorn and Right On Molly. We saw good condition pacers there in the 9th, pacing at 54 and 2, so that's probably a good indication.
Yeah, probably a good indication that they're going to have their hands full. And like I said, aged horses, they're kind of used to these conditions, and they're used to, you know, whatever you know, the weather or track conditions can be. But 2-year-old fillies, I find that wind hits them, and if they're getting a little tired, it greatly exaggerates that. It's kind of like your slice in golf, I think, Greg, when you hit, you know, the wind can make it a little worse.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've got that beautiful draw on my shots, and I hit a long ball, generally over 300 with my eyes closed. Of course not. James actually is the golfer, the good golfer in this group, no question about that. So we're just moments away. What would be going on in the paddock area right now as a driver? 3 minutes to post. I'm sure every guy has a little bit of a different approach to things, but how would you be getting yourself prepared right about now?
I'm sure a couple of the guys are in there throwing up right now. No, I'm just kidding. They're all professionals. They've all been here before. So if it's me, though, I like to take a little different approach. I like to take an initial look at the program a couple days before, get to know the horses, and then I try not to look at it too much again until 1, 2, 3 minutes to post, because I just find if you worry about it too much, then it gets too much clutter in your head. You got 8 or 10 races to worry about, so I think a lot of the guys are like me. They've taken their biggest look at this race more recently, so it's fresh in their mind. And, you know, Doug, right now, I don't think he really cares what the other guys are thinking. He's thinking down the road. So,
and they've got the home field advantage, certainly. The McNair stable just up the road from here. They've won these events numerous times. And so, I mean, how much does that confidence, the fact that they've got post one to work with here, come into play? And will that, do you think, intimidate some of the other competitors?
Oh, yeah, big time. Myself, I find, you know, like Doug's a terrific driver, and I've mentioned it in interviews before. His job, or any job of a driver, is to make the other drivers uncomfortable. And I guarantee you those people leaving 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, if they're taking a shot at leaving, they're thinking, I better be coming out of there hard, because I don't want Doug to put me in a bad spot. You know, and that's what great drivers do. They make other drivers uncomfortable.
All right, getting a look there at Brinley Sealster. She's the daughter of Big Jim, a London selected yearling purchase. First full from Better Than Happy. And there you go, Jack Darling, the owner-trainer, identifying one, the first full out of the mare, and his keen eye seems to have paid off again. He's got another talented stakes performer on his hands.
Yeah, you know, you can't say enough about Jack. It's you know, some trainers come up with, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 or, you know, maybe 4 if you're lucky. Jack does it year in and year out for the last 30 years. You go back to Gothic Dream, and I'm sure you can name horses.
Northern Luck
horses. Like it's just amazing the way he's been able to evolve and as a trainer, and just keep producing great horse after great horse.
Getting a look there at number 4, Blue Glamber, daughter of All Bets Off, one of the first crop stallions in Ontario that's making a pretty nice impact so far. Any of those first crop stallions really sort of catching your eye in terms of the youngsters you've sat behind?
Yeah, All Bets Off's had a few really nice ones. In terms of Ontario, I think 2022 has been a terrific year in general for first crop sires. Stay Hungry comes to mind. International Money on the trot, but you know, Canada's no different. I think All Bets Off's been terrific, and I'm sure I'm forgetting some in Canada as well.
Yeah, it looks like a Chippendale on the trots. Another one getting you know, some attention. It's had some top stakes performers. So great to be able to bolster the Ontario program. Of course, Winback Farm, main sponsor today of the Battle of Waterloo. And you look at their stallion roster, ultra impressive as well. And you know, some exciting prospects with horses like McWicked and Jimmy Freight. McWicked not too far removed from his racing career, and of course Jimmy Freight in the midst of an incredible season and producing horses already for the farm. Archangel's become a staple in Ontario as well. Stag Party, we saw his name on the track record list here for 2-year-olds, and he's one of the exciting new stallions on their roster as well.
For sure, yeah. That day Dave Miller came up and rolled him along here. He looked incredible. He's an exciting sire, and you know, his 2-year-old speed was just off the charts. So actually my girlfriend and I have a My MVP colt. First he won his grassroots a couple weeks ago, so we're pretty excited about him. He's in tomorrow. Unfortunately, he's got a catch driver in the sulky this week.
You know, I saw him firsthand at Clinton Raceway. I believe that was his first career start, and for those who didn't see it, that was probably not the trip you had envisioned coming in. It was an adventurous trip, but you had to be ecstatic the way the colt handled that and performed on the day.
Yeah, for sure. You know, he just kept sticking his head forward and kept trying to go forward, and that's all you can ask those young horses the first few times you race them. We were super excited and still weren't sure what we had going into Mohawk, and then he just came out with an unbelievable performance, and we're expecting a good performance tomorrow. You know, and unfortunately we're losing me, but we get the capable hands of Louis-Philippe Bois, so we're excited.
Not too bad at all. Getting a look at the odds board now, 4-5 on big plans. Trevor Henry teaming up with Bob McIntosh, the filly, daughter of All Bets Off, 3 for 4. Hasn't done anything wrong this year. Already 100,000 plus banked. There's a look at Brinley Sealster getting overlooked at 6-1. Maybe the value on the board. Let's hear more now from her owner, trainer Jack Darling, standing by with Rob.
Thank you very much, Greg. I am joined by Jack Darling, who sends out Brinley Sealster here in the Battle of the Bells final. And Jack, an elimination winner a week ago. With that, you weren't going to get a terrible starting spot. You land with post position number 2, but you had a good chance to assess the competition. How are you feeling going into today's race?
I feel pretty good. This filly, she's got a lot of ability. We've been having some steering issues with her, so that'll be a factor. But if she can work out a decent trip, I think she'll be tough.
And did she show you all along from the winter here to the spring to the summer that she had that ability, or was she coming along a little bit of a late bloomer, so to speak?
Yeah, no, she was my best all the way through. Showed lots of ability. It was just kind of when she started doing the steering problems was a kind of a shock to the system, but she'll get over it eventually. But we'll see how she does today.
Well, she's going to get over it. Today would be the perfect day to do that here in the Rich Final. Now, I know we're only just a couple minutes away from the race, but I have to ask you about Bulldog Hanover. We're going to see him back in action very soon, actually, tomorrow morning.
Right, he's going to qualify tomorrow morning, and then he races at Hoosier Park a week from Friday.
And even before we came on camera here, I'm sure the last several weeks you've had people coming up to you, offering congratulations, wanting to talk about Bulldog. What's the reaction been like to his incredible performances and his recent world record?
It's been really something. Like, people just really are excited about that horse. They love watching him race, and it's kind of a personal thing with the horse. So it's really something special.
Well, it's been a lot of fun to watch, and we wish you the best of luck the rest of the way. And right here with Brindley Sealster.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, I'll send it back to you in the infields. We get set for the Battle of the Bells final.
All right, thank you very much, Mark. My apologies. I called him Rob. We forgot that Mark and Rob swapped positions. Rob is handling things on the simulcast show here in-house, doing a bit of double duty, as is Mark. So great to hear from Jack Darling. You would have raced against Bulldog Hanover many times. First of all, I mean, I think we all knew this was a top-level horse, you know, a great Ontario sired horse, but he's jumped up to a level that, you know, has got the entire sport really excited. Has he surprised you in the way he's been so dominant in world record time week after week?
Yes and no. I mean, yes, in the manner of a 4-year-old stepping into the age ranks and just being an absolute powerhouse, dominant figure. But anyone that really had a close eye on him last year, and like you said, I raced against him last year, and when he was on, there was nothing like I've never seen anything like him before. So to say I'm surprised would be a lie that he's special, but this special, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's incredible what he's done.
Jack Darling with Brindley Sealster in this spot for Jody Jamieson as the gate is rolling. Top 2-year-old fillies in the province, $155,000 on the line. Gary Guy with the call of this year's Battle of the Bells.
Center blue Glamber into the outside wife, he said, so when I'm a Dolan. Lions better day in the second tier, Glenborough. It is a field of 9, race number 10, the Battle of the Bells final. Here they come. Field for race number 10 is at the start of the rough. Big plans on trying to make the lead, and is going to sprint out and get to the front. Shake it twice, and on the outside, Brindley Sealster. Brindley Sealster now is going to find the pocket. Shake it twice is third. Blue Glamour's racing fourth. Then to the inside, Glenborough. Then it is back to Western Flames and Lions Better Day. Wifey said so, and I'm a Dolan. There goes Shake It Twice now. Shake It Twice is shaking early and is looking to drive up and grab the lead from Big Plans, and now it is Shake It Twice, even money on the board, leading Big Plans, who's also at even money right there in the pocket. Brindley Sealster third, Blue Glamour is racing fourth, and then it is Glenborough and Western Flames and Lions Better Day and Wifey Said So when I'm a Doll, and they race off the turn, and it is Shake It Twice who's got the lead for Doug McNair. Big Plans rides in the pocket. Brindley Sealster third. Here comes Blue Glamour now, working first over. Glenborough is spotted second over and is racing fifth, and then it is Western Flames and Lions Better Dan Amadal. Wifey Said So is trailing 56-3 the halftime, and into the backstretch they go, and it is Shake It Twice and Blue Glamour. Blue Glamour threatening. Shake It Twice, though, drives on, has a lead at about a length right now over Blue Glamour, and now settled wide. There goes Glenborough 3 wide. Glenborough, Big Plans is on the inside, racing fourth on the back of Shake It Twice. Glenborough, Shake It Twice. Glenborough sticks a nose in front. Shake It Twice. Big Plans on the inside. And now Brindley Sealster is kicking in late and is moving up now on the inside. Big Plans is making a big sprint. Big Plans has popped to the outside but has to catch Glenborough, who's got the lead. It is Glenborough, Big Plans, and Shake It Twice. They come on down the stretch drive. Glenborough on the outside. Big Plans. Big Plans with a big move to win the Battle of the Bells final. Glenborough was second. Then it was Brindley Sealster and Shake It Twice. 156-4. Big Plans with a big move from the 3/4 to home.
Big Plans. She has done nothing but win so far early in her career. She is now 4 for 5, and with that victory, going to be well over $150,000 in seasonal earnings. homebred from the Bob McIntosh stable, daughter of All Bets Off, and it's a 1-2 finish for that first crop stallion here with Glenborough. Solid runner-up. Brindley Sealster took a shuffle, rallied and appeared to get up for third over Shake It Twice, who was sent off as the favorite. James, quick analysis. Really, I think a key portion of the race was that first eighth, with Shake It Twice getting away third and then having to make that quarter pole move.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might look at that race and be like, oh, geez, that was a pretty good race, and Trevor's horse race would. In my opinion, that's like a world-class drive by Trevor, because you got big money on the line, half-mile track, and you got another horse, your favorite, you got another horse coming at you hard, going to the quarter pole, and you have two choices. Take him, which everyone expects you to do. Oh, you're made front in the big race, and your favorite, take him, try and win. Let it be what it'll be. But Trevor's such a cool customer in these races, and especially on a half. He probably didn't want to be where he was. He let Doug go, stung him a little bit, but didn't empty him out. And then the race unfolded. He ended up having enough left for a kick to go by. That was a terrific drive by Trevor, in my opinion.
All right, there's a look at the filly. She's not big in stature, but she gets a little bit bigger when she stands on that bankroll right now. As mentioned, about 150,000 plus. She was sent off as a co-favorite. How about the long shot Glenborough? Really throwing a wrench into things. That was a big move at 3/4, and again, that 3-wide move in the backstretch, something that is difficult to do on a day like today, and she almost got away on them.
Yeah, they mixed it up early. Travis had her in a good spot, and we were surprised, but she gave them all they wanted, and probably deserved to win. She cleared, turning for home, and just got out sprinted by Trevor there the last eighth. But just a real gutsy effort and great trip. Got to be happy with that if you're Team Cullen.
Absolutely, and Bob McIntosh, the veteran conditioner, and he is no stranger certainly to winning Grand Circuit Stake races. He's been a force in the Ontario Sire Stakes program over the course of his career, but surprisingly perhaps his first win in this event.
Yeah, there's not too many races you can say first win for Bob McIntosh. That's a staggering fact, but it's just a matter of time for him. He always develops these great young horses, and this filly Big Plans appears to be no exception.
And there's Trevor Henry, the driver as well. He was a mainstay, cut his teeth on tracks like the old Elmira, which was the predecessor of Grand River Raceway before the track moved from Elmira to Elora. He dominated there, dominated in recent years at the Raceway at Western Fair District and many of the B tracks in Ontario, and made the move later on than most to the big track at Woodbine Entertainment Group. And we've talked about this. I think you and I have talked about it before as well. When he came in there, a lot of people wondered, can he make the transition at that age to that circuit? And he answered the question fairly quickly.
Yeah, Trevor's a smart guy, and he had that title for a lot of years. This is the best B-track driver on the planet, or the best B-track driver in Canada, and he wasn't winning those races by mistake. He's a terrific, well-rounded driver. It took not very long at all for him to figure out how to adjust to the big track, but once he got the hang of it, I think he's just a really phenomenal driver on any size track, and it's always good to see him win these big races, because he's one of the good guys out there. He's really a really well-liked driver by everyone and the fans, and it's good to see him get another Battle of the Bells.
He kind of reminds me of a gentleman you will know, folks in Eastern Canada, shocked to learn of the passing of veteran Earl Smith this past week, one of the great horsemen in Atlantic Canada. And as a driver, I think a lot of people described him as competitive, very tough on the track. Safe and great guy, and very personable, but on the racetrack at a race, very tough to compete against, a competitor. And I think a lot of people say that about Trevor Henry as well.
Yeah, exactly. He's one of those guys. You might pull one on him, but he's not going to forget anytime soon, and that's the way it should be. You got to be tough out there, and like you said, I was really sad to hear the news of Earl Smith. Absolutely tremendous horseman. It was probably one of the greatest Gold Cup and Saucers of all time. The year hometown guy got it done with Pownell Bay Matt. That was on the Sunday afternoon. I wasn't there for that one, but it was really great to see. They put on such a great show, and those guys, they would do anything to do it. So it was really fun to see Earl Smith get his due, and really saddened by the loss of him for sure.
All right, we're going to head out and hear from the winning connections of this year's Battle of the Bells.
I hadn't used her just a bit leaving, and it's a good thing because that would save me the race.
And last week in the elimination, you know, some people were mentioning, you know, in the final turn, maybe she had trouble with the turn, or were you just kind of letting them come back to you and then sprint away in the stretch?
Well, she's kind of green on the front, and when Dougie come with the other co-favorite, I wasn't too concerned about letting him go because she is better off a helmet. But on the other hand, you never know what's going to happen, but it all just worked out in the end.
All right, and now you know, she's got 3 in a row, obviously 2 wins at the gold level. I mean, you know, you think she's going to be the dominant force in the golds this year?
Oh, I don't know whether she's dominant. There's a lot of good colts, or fillies, in there, and she's definitely in the top 3 for sure.
All right, Trevor Henry, winning driver in the Battle of the Bells aboard Big Plans. Congratulations, Trevor.
Thank you.
Cool customer, Trevor Henry. Doesn't show a whole lot of emotion, even last year when he won the Pepsi North America Cup. He's smiling, but he's as laid back as they come, and probably a big reason why he's so good and so cool under pressure on the racetrack. Big Plans going to get done as a co-favorite, a little over even money, 51.50 though, with the long shot finishing second. Nice trifecta return as well, and the Dollar Super just shy of $200 with that even money choice winning it. Brindley Sealster, Shake It Twice, rounding out the top 4 finishers in this year's edition of the Battle of the Bells. Time for another commercial break. When we come back, we'll talk Battle of Waterloo next from Grand River Raceway.
Come. Post time. Deep stretch now. Shut the camera up.
And control, fun of the game on the inside third. Some Beach Somewhere still has 2.5 lengths to make up and has rolled out there 3 wide. On the inside, Samurai Sealter is 5th. Then Keystone Horatio's marching 3 wide on the final turn. Sturgis Hanover, Dr. J. Holiday to the inside. And Ratings Hanover trailing 3/4, 125 and 2. Believe in Bruiser leads to the top of the stretch, but here comes Some Beach Somewhere, and Paul McDonnell, Some Beach Somewhere at the top of the stretch, has come on to take the lead, and Some Beach Somewhere now is cruising down the stretch drive. The 10th Battle of Waterloo final goes to Some Beach Somewhere and Paul McDonnell. Fun of the Game was second, Believe in Bruiser was third, Samurai Sealter was 4th. 155 flat.
Look back to the late great Some Beach Somewhere, kickstarting his career right here at Grand River Raceway. Canadian record in his elimination, came back and easily won the final of the Battle of Waterloo. Went on to one of the greatest careers we've ever seen in the sport of racing. Just moments ago as well, we saw a promo for the upcoming Gold Cup and Saucer from our part of the world, Charlottetown PEI. Now, James, with your depending how things go with the your injury report there, if you're going to be on the shelf for another week or two, will you be making the trip east this year?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I said that to my mom when I first got hurt. She was pretty upset and worried, like I always have her, about every 3 weeks. So, no, I said, you know, it could be good news and bad news. If I do get sidelined for a bit, I'll be able to get home, which I never do, for maybe the whole week or an extended period of time anyway. But, you know, if all goes well, I'll be back before then, and then it'll be tough to get there, but I'll try and get there for a few days regardless.
All right, and again today on the show, we're giving away these Winback Farm backpacks to our viewers tuning in today. So we'll pose another question to you. Let's use a Gold Cup theme. You've competed in it. Your brothers Anthony and Mark have done well. Mark's the only guy that's been able to win that event. He's done it 3 times. You and Anthony still looking for your first. Mark won it with the same horse in 2 of the 3 years. If you can name that horse, 2-time winner for Mark McDonald of the Gold Cup and Saucer, the same horse twice. And if you've got the answer, leave a comment in the chat. First one to do so will take home this Winback Farm backpack. Great prize today. And Winback Farm, of course, title sponsor of this year's Battle of Waterloo. Great to have them on board for that event. So let's set the stage for how things set up today in terms of the 9 finalists. Last week there were 3 eliminations contested. Let's take a look back now and see how things unfolded here at Grand River.
Backs away to last. It is Sounds Good, and now here comes Koopaloop storming on the outside as they turn from Sounds Good on the inside. Wall Street Bell and Koopaloop on the outside with Big Dream fell on down the stretch. Rob they come, and Sounds Good has this one. Sounds Good is going to beat your winner, and then Santan Hanover, Wall Street Bell, and Koopaloop finished 4th, 156-3. 3/4, 127-4, and it is the Moment of Rose on the outside. Better Be a Terror. Moment is here as racing 3rd, and Parsons is kicking in late, but swung out wide. They come on down the stretch drive, and the Moment of Rose, and Moment is here on the inside. The Moment of Rose arose sharply in the 9th race to win the 2nd elimination. Moment is here. Then 3rd is between Parsons and Better Be a Terror.
A look back at the eliminations from a week ago. It was a sweep for Team McNair, and we'll see if they can get it done for a 5th time in the Battle of Waterloo. We focused on Koopaloop, had a quick look at that one, James. Reason being, he had that miscue, wanted to demonstrate the nice recovery he made. Quite an accomplishment to get himself back into the final after that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I was behind the gate beside him that night, and he just looked a little keyed up and made a mistake. And I didn't get to see quite how far back he was till I watched the replay, and it was really astonishing the ground he made up just to get in the final. So, I mean, it's one of those races that makes it very interesting. You got winners, you got horses you can, maybe make a case for, including maybe Parsons, where you saw him get a little rough turning for home, but still make up that ground late. So it's going to be a very, very interesting race, and I'm excited to see how it plays out.
Speaking of Parsons, his driver this afternoon, Bob McClure, is standing by with our Mark McKelvey.
All right, thank you very much. I am joined by Bob McClure. He'll start from the 2nd tier with Parsons for trainer Richard Moreau. And Bob, last week was the first time you sat behind this youngster. What were your first impressions?
Oh, he's very nice, very fast, very classy little horse, but he got a little fumbly gated on me a couple of times, so I recommend a couple equipment changes. I'm sure they trained him this week. I'm sure Richard's no dummy. You can't ever count him out for a final, so I expect him to be just a touch better than last week, and if he gets a good trip, he'll give him a good run.
What kind of trip do you envision having to start from the 2nd tier?
Honestly, I'm just going to worry about getting him off the gate. It's very hard to get off the 9-hole here, extremely hard, especially with a 2-year-old, especially in a race like this. So I'm just going to get him away as good as I can and safe and make a plan from there.
Well, we're keeping our fingers crossed that these dark clouds will hold off and we'll get this race in under these conditions. Speaking of ideal conditions, we're hoping for that this Saturday afternoon at the Meadowlands, the Hambletonian Oaks, where you'll be sitting behind Warwick Xenia. What a performance in her elimination. Did she surprise you, or were you knew going down there that she was going to make a statement up against the best fillies in the sport?
I was quietly confident in her, but I think she surprised everybody. That was the first time I'd ever asked her at the head of the lane, and I knew she was fast, but I think she made fast look not fast. You know, like she took off like a rocket, and I think she left a lot of people speechless.
It was a fantastic performance, hoping for a repeat this Saturday afternoon. On a week like Hambletonian week, is it hard not to start looking ahead to what's coming up this Saturday when you still got so many races to drive in the rest of the week?
It used to be, but I think as you get more experience, you start to mellow a little bit, and there's nothing you can control in my spot right now, so you might as well just do the best you can to plan for it.
All right, well, lots of time to plan, but not much more time to plan for this Battle of Waterloo final. Good luck here, Bob.
Thank you.
All right, sending it back to you guys in the infield.
Thank you, Mark and Bob McClure. And yeah, Bob's kind of got one eye on the Hambletonian this coming Saturday, Hambletonian Oaks, I should say. He's already won a Hambletonian. Pretty remarkable, isn't it, James? He's a guy that's still really early in, I think, the pinnacle of his career, if you want to call it that. A lot of good years ahead of him, and he's already done so much.
Yeah, I mean, that's astonishing. I've never even had a drive in either the elimination of the Oaks or Hambletonian. He's won the Hambletonian and now has a big shot in the Hambletonian Oaks. But it just speaks to the driver caliber up here. I mean, it's a deep colony all through Ontario, and Bob's a terrific driver, and I think he's going to maybe shock the world again on Saturday in the Hambletonian Oaks. I know we'll all be cheering for him here for sure.
Yeah, from what we saw, it looks like really it's her race to win or lose. If she shows up and is mistake-free, boy, they're going to have an awful time, I think, beating her.
Yeah, I don't think she has to be close either, just close enough where the race isn't impossible to win. Like, even if it's improbable, I think she probably can get there. She's just a really special filly. I told you off-air that Mark Stacey had mentioned to me last year what kind of a filly he thought she was, and I told you he's batting 100% when he tells me that. So it's no surprise that she's a great horse, and Mark and Sean, they just do a terrific job. So congratulations to them.
So a similar scenario with her. It wasn't the smoothest of journeys, but the end result was good. Same for Parsons. It looked like he had a chance to win, then kind of took himself out of it. But Bob was able to make sure that he got the horse into the final in good order. And with any improvement today, you have to think he's a player, even with the trailing post. So we're going to talk more about the Battle of Waterloo here. We're just moments away from meeting the field in the post parade. Let's go back to that question I posed a few moments ago regarding the Gold Cup and Saucer. Driver Mark McDonald won it. He's won it 3 times, twice with the same horse, and several people were able to come up with the winning answer. Of course, it was Sandals Dexter, the great hard hitter, who campaigned in Ontario a few years back for Darrell Roberts, made the trip to the East Coast, almost got the three-peat, very close to a three-peat there, but did win it twice. So Bo Ford was the first one to have the correct answer. Congratulations to Bo with that correct answer. We've got Bob McIntosh well represented here as well with a colt by the name of Moment Is Here. It's another from the first crop of All Bets Off. McIntosh hoping that lightning can strike twice, winning the Battle of the Bells with the All Bets Off filly Big Plans. Got The Moment Is Here, post 6 today. Last trainer to sweep both the Bells and the Battle of Waterloo same day, 2013, Greg McNair with Lady Shadow and 3 of Clubs. Can Bob McIntosh do it today?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely possible. 6 holes is a tough ask for a Moment of Here, but top driver Trevor on again on a half-mile track. You got to love him, but it was a couple weeks ago I made front with one of Stacy's, and Moment Is Here traveled back to the lead, and it was really, really green on the front and was pulling up a little bit and getting a little fumbly gated. So that's just something else that kind of adds to the driver's decision here. Like, Trevor, do you blast? If you do get to the front, is she going to travel greenly here? Is she going to get a little fumbly? So that's something Trevor's got to figure out, and it's a big ask. There's no room for error in these races. They're just young 2-year-olds with a few starts, but we ask them to race like complete professionals, and you need that, and hopefully she will if she does get to the lead. So it should be a very interesting race.
Koopa Loop, we showed that one in the elimination, had that very costly miscue at the start, but despite that, a really nice recovery to qualify for the final. Your assessment of that race, will that set up the horse well for today, or will that have taken something out of him?
Well, the rain, it sounds like it's starting to fall a little bit here, and it's something, it's just it's one more thing, kind of the same as Trevor, that's in your head going to the gate. Like, yeah, I need him on his toes to get away really good, or get away on front, or get away close to the front. And if I have him on his toes, is he going to make a mistake like he did last week? If I keep him quiet, is that better? Like there's a lot going on in Eddie's head right now, and I think if it's me, you gotta, the big money's down on the line. You gotta shake him up, have him on his toes, and just pray he doesn't do it again, because that could be catastrophic in here.
So trainer Greg McNair sends out 2 starters here. Sounds good. The moment arose, both elimination winners, both in 56 and 3. So how do you separate those two? Was one more impressive in your mind than the other?
This is a situation where you let the driver make the choice for you. Doug went with sounds good, so we got to think that sounds good of the two maybe is a touch better right now. Maybe not overall, but right now coming into the race, Doug stuck with the 2. Maybe it was just the post position, but he's a smart guy. He knows the horses. His dad knows the horses, so I think that's a situation where we let them make the decision for us.
Getting a look at them coming out now, just saw the moment arose, a son of Control the Moment. We've been talking about the stallions here in Ontario. Control the Moment's another one that in the last couple of years has made his presence known.
Yeah, for sure. Control the Moment. He's thrown some really nice horses and some high speed horses. I can't think of any right off the top of my head, but there is a few around. I know the Richie's had a nice one. He may have got injured recently, but the moment arose looks terrific. There's a couple, like you said, all bets off. First time sire in tonight. But for me, I would like to see, a young kid from PEI make his first crack at the Battle of Waterloo. We were just talking about the Gold Cup. But, this is kind of where Dougie got his big breakout, and it would be really nice to see Austin do something special with this colt of Scott McEnany's. He raced well for me in the elimination. I think, he got shuffled a little bit, and he could be better tonight.
And that one, son of Big Jim, another one of those kind of underrated stallions, but he's thrown so many good ones when you start going back through them, as has Shadow Play. Shadow Play is, of course, one of the stallions who's been the pride of Winback Farm, the title sponsor of the event here today. He's the sire of the fastest ever Bulldog Hanover. Very interesting. Harold Howe did a cool piece. He's really been dissecting Bulldog Hanover from different angles, and he talked to a bunch of trainers about Shadow Play as a stallion, and a lot of them were saying that they weren't fans of Shadow Plays, but that's amazing when you think back and just look at last year's 3-year-old crop here in Ontario. It was all Shadow Play all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like last year, every time you went behind the gate, you were getting beat by a Shadow Play. It was Desperate Man, NA Cup winner, Bulldog Hanover, world record holder,
Power
Train. I knew there was a big 3, and I think there was more, but he's a terrific sire. He was a terrific horse himself, and you just need the opportunity sometimes, and he hit the jackpot last year. I think he changed a lot of people's opinions on Shadow Play for sure.
All right, I believe now we're going to head over to our paddock location and get some final thoughts from Mark McKelvey. Mark, from your vantage point, were there any tip-offs in terms of body language as the horses were coming out to the track for this one?
I'd say calm, cool, and collected, guys, here in the paddock. Kind of quiet, really. Not a whole lot of activity on the go. Everybody just ready for the big dance, and it's coming up here in just a couple of minutes. Looking at this field, though, I'm still going to side with Koopa Loop. It's a tough starting spot, and I know he'll have to rebound, and I just think he will come back here with a good effort. They can make their adjustments. You saw the clip a little bit earlier, how far out he was after making that break before the start, got himself back into the race. I mean, at one point there, I was watching him try to get back to the pack, and he was just going a huge clip to get back into that race, and then he hung around to make sure that they got into the finals. So I'm going to go with Team Hensley here, and they've had lots of success partnering up with the Burke stable the last few years, and maybe they'll get another victory here. Scarlet Hanover won the bells a few years ago for them. We'll see if Koopa Loop can take the Battle of Waterloo.
Mark, and great recovery from the colt. One of the many impressive efforts we saw coming in. A little bit different, though, this year, James, where you don't have maybe the one or two really high-profile ones coming in. Typically at this point, one or two have started to separate themselves, and we just go back to last year. Better Have My Money looked like a bit of a standout. And in fact, you got a real surprise from Aaron Wood-Eve, who was a bit of an unknown at the time, but really made you work for the Battle of Waterloo title last year, which many thought was going to be a foregone conclusion.
Yeah, for sure. What a lot of people don't know is the teletimer on the backside sometimes isn't working here, and so you can't really tell. I thought, like you, as well as everyone else, I just kind of coast out of there, get the lead with better have my money, and the race would be over. And I knew I got stretched pretty hard, but I didn't know how hard. And then when we were coming in front of the grandstand, then you can see the first quarter, and I think it was 26-2, which is like suicidal fractions for aged horse, let alone a 2-year-old pacing colt. The half was 54 and change, and he was just such a great horse. He battled back on and hung on to win, but this race makes a lot of horses, and it changes a lot of careers. And it's like you said, it's starting spot for some beach, and we might have one of those on our hands this year.
All right, the gate is rolling. I'm going to take a try at a long shot here. Better Be a Terror, post 1 here. Good third, parked a long way in his elimination. Blake McIntosh, Jody Jamieson, both past winners of the event. Nice crowd in the backstretch watching them assemble. It is time for the 2022 Battle of Waterloo. $204,000 on the line. Once again, upstairs to track announcer Gary Guy.
Hanover on the inside of the center. Watch My Chips in the Moment arose to the outside. Moment is here. Koopaloop and Wall Street Bell. And the second tier, Parsons. Field of 9. 11th race. The Battle of Waterloo. Here they come. Field for the Battle of Waterloo final is at the start of the rough and sounds good, is looking good early. Santana Hanover, Better Be a Terror along to the inside. And then it is the Moment arose as they charge it into the turn. And then Koopaloop is on the outside and is racing fifth. And Watch My Chips and back to Parsons. And then the Moment arose and trailing is Wall Street Bell. Sounds Good has got the lead as they race their way on to the opening quarter. Santana Hanover on the outside stuck, and on the inside Better Be a Terror. And then the Moment arose is on the outside as well. Watch My Chips is on the inside, and Koopaloop is still working on the outside. And then Parsons has moved out, and then it is the Moment is here and Wall Street Bell on the inside, but Sounds Good and Doug McNair has the lead. But Santana Hanover hasn't seen the inside and is still there applying pressure. Better Be a Terror is looking like in a good spot on the inside third. And then the Moment arose is situated second over. And Koopaloop is on the outside all over the back of the Moment arose. And on the inside, Watch My Chips. And then it is Wall Street Bell and Parsons. And then back to the Moment is here. Into the back stretch they go. Up a half of 57 and 2, a 32nd second pedal breather. Sounds Good. Santana Hanover moving up now. The Moment arose. And then Better Be a Terror. And Koopaloop now is going to take a peek out wide. 3 wide action from the Moment arose. And Koopaloop follows the Moment arose. It is the Moment arose. And on the inside, Sounds Good. Between those two, Santana Hanover. Then Better Be a Terror and Koopaloop and Wall Street Bell. The Moment is here. And then it is back to Watch My Chips, and Parsons trails the field 3/4, 127 and 2. And it is Sounds Good. Santana Hanover hasn't seen the inside and is on even terms with Sounds Good as they turn for home. Sounds Good and Santana Hanover. On the inside, it is Sounds Good to take the Battle of Waterloo. Santana Hanover was second, then Better Be a Terror, and the Moment is here, 155 and 1. Sounds Good, looked good, didn't get left alone, but it didn't matter. Rob got the job done anyway.
So it was Sounds Good, able to capitalize on that inside post, and once he got the lead, Doug McNair was never going to relinquish it. He had a momentary decision to make, but James, you were saying off camera that there really wasn't much decision. Doug, had to employ that strategy once he made the lead. And Austin Sorey, you were commenting that it was a good drive on his part. He knew almost immediately that he was going to be caught out, probably the mile, and just raided out there, and it allowed the top two to get a really soft middle half.
Yeah, they came to Doug right away, but there was a horse always kind of looming on just a half a length back of Austin on the outside. It ended up being Doug's stablemate, so it wouldn't have mattered, but you're in that spot, and Doug knows the horses. Austin's is a little green when he clears to the lead, so he knew even if he backed in and he got ahead in front, he probably wasn't going to go crazy fractions. So you got to know these things going in, and Doug's a smart guy, a terrific driver, and he had a big day today, and great kudos to Austin, hanging for second there. That's a tough trip, but he kept the horse alive on the outside, didn't panic when things were going just as bad as they could go, and good for him, big second. And it wasn't a lot that went on, but it was a very eventful race nonetheless.
So another great industry day for Team McNair. They were hopeful they were going to get the sweep. They've done it before. Fell short in the Battle of the Bells, but sounds good. Able to get it done here in the Battle of Waterloo. 55-1, sharp 27-4. Final quarter on the end. And that is going to put them into the history books here. Greg McNair is now tied Carl Jamieson for the winningest trainer in the history of the event. That's 5 training victories now. 5 driving wins for Doug McNair. And I believe that gives him the solo lead in terms of Battle of Waterloo titles. If I'm doing my math correctly, we've got Jody with 4. So I think Doug now is the winningest driver in the history of the event. And it's fitting. Again, the McNair family, synonymous with top Ontario sired performers for many years. They're located just up the road. Their farm nearby here, so this truly is home turf for them. And would you say, Doug and Greg, I mean, for all the accomplishments they've had, they're kind of underrated, especially Greg on the training side. He's one of those guys that just seems a tad underrated, but I think if you ask anybody, especially here in Ontario, he's as highly respected as they come.
Oh, he's just a terrific person, terrific horse person, and every year, not 1, not 2, not 4, probably 7 good ones every year. He's just got sire stake winners, grassroots winners, gold winners. The stats don't lie. 5 training wins, 5 driving wins. Those are crazy. Now this is a $200,000 race. Was a $300,000 race. Like every year to just bring good win. They won both the limbs. It wasn't like they had one that they were banking on. It was just a great driver. Doug's, he's just 30 years old, I think, so he's probably not done.
No, absolutely, and I think they're just going to continue to add. And again, being that this is right in their own backyard, this is one they circle on the calendar, and it means a lot. Even though this is the 5th time they've won this race together, I'm sure it never gets old, and you've always got full entourage of family and friends here to celebrate each and every time. And I think you're right. I think there's going to be more to come from this tandem, certainly. So congratulations again. They're into the Winback Winner Circle and Winback, the title sponsor of this year's Battle of Waterloo. Pat Woods and the gang from Winback Farms, again, a big thank you to them for supporting this event. Such an important one for Ontario racing. And again, this has been the stepping stone for many greats. Some of them, this is kind of their pinnacle of achievement, but others, like Some Beach Somewhere, who comes to mind, and others, it's just simply the first step in great careers.
Oh, absolutely. It's a fun race, a fun day. You always see a big crowd here. The kids are here. They're getting their face painted. They're getting ice cream. It's just it's a wonderful day to watch. Unfortunately, I've got to watch a couple on the sidelines recently, but I still have a great time coming and cheering all my buddies on. And it's a big race. This sounds good. Who knows? Like you said, he could be any kind of horse yet. He's a bettor's delight. They always improve. So you got to keep thinking that the McNairs aren't done, and the Battle of Waterloo is going to go on strong for years, and it's going to be a lot of fun in the years to come.
How about runner-up Santana Hanover? Full marks. Rarely can a colt go parked every step of the way alongside the leader and live to tell about it. Good job by Austin Soria, as mentioned, not pressing the pace too hard, realizing, the only chance here is to sit out here and rate. That helped Doug McNair, of course, with the lead as well. But Santana Hanover, that's an impressive effort. You don't see that too often from a 2-year-old to be able to take that much air and finish second in a race like this.
No, and full marks, like you said, to Austin. Not often you're complimenting a driver on being parked the whole way, and I've I've been there, done that 1,000 times, but kudos to him to realize, hey, I'm not going to win the race pushing the pace. All I'm going to do is, tire my horse out, tire the leader out. And he rode it out and then took his lumps and got paid big for it. Second place here is nothing to turn your nose up at. And he's a really top upcoming driver, another great driver coming from the East Coast, and he's got a great attitude, and the sky's the limit for him. You see people like Nancy Tactor and people like that using him, and he's 20 years old, 21 maybe. He's a phenomenal young driver, and Scott's done a great job with the horse. He just bought him off Paul Davies and Nicky Davies. I think 2 weeks ago, and the horse has been he's been great for them, and he's been great for Scott. So good for everyone involved.
Getting a look at the Happy Winner Circle celebrations. The white, black, and maroon colors prominent and celebrating, and it seems to almost be an annual thing here on Industry Day at Grand River. Rob Reed looks like he's got both the winning trainer and driver, father-son team of Greg and Doug McNair standing by. Over to Rob.
98, 95.
I'm here in a very happy winner's circle with Team McNair. And to say that Team McNair is synonymous with success here on Industry Day is the understatement of the century, because we just see that Doug McNair now stands alone with 5 victories in the Battle of Waterloo as the leading driver in the history of the race. Doug, I got to ask you, stacked up on the outside of you, Santana Hanover, most of the trip there, did you have him where you wanted him most of the way?
Well, there's a bit of a panic mode halfway on the first turn. I just didn't know where everybody's going to situate it. I wanted to do the give and go with Austin, but I noticed there's a horse on his back. So, kudos to him for just kind of coast riding and finishing second. Being a race like that, it's tough to sit along out there nice and patiently, and to get one and finish second was a good job by him.
Was there any moment that you may have been a bit concerned that he might get the better of you?
Yeah, I think heading in the last turn, I thought everybody was exactly where we kind of wanted them, and the way the race shaped out. But the head of the strat, I just hoped when I pulled the plugs that he didn't let go of me, because Austin's horse was still right there. He gave me a bit of a scare to halfway down the lane. Obviously, our guy got the better of him, and he raced great. Both the horses raced great.
All right, and talk about how special Industry Day is, and this race is. I mean, you and your father have tremendous success. You're now the winningest driver in the history of the race. Talk a bit about Industry Day as a whole and this particular race.
Oh, it's one of the best days of the year for me. I started going to them when I was just a young kid in Elmira, and had a lot of fun at that. As much fun as that as probably I have winning all these, but it's big. As you can see, a lot of family here and a lot of my buddies from school, high school, and even elementary school, they come out to join. So it's a big thrill, and every win feels the same for me.
All right, congrats, Doug. We're going to move on now to Greg. Father Greg, and listen, this was incredible effort from your colt here to get the job done, and now yourself, tied Carl Jamieson for the most wins in the Battle of Waterloo history. So, how does that feel, and how does it feel that every time you team up with your son, Doug?
Oh, it's good to team up with Doug, and then Carl, he's hard to catch. You usually get one near him, and then he opens up 2 more on you. So it's a great race to win. It's a hard race to win.
And for you, watching it, it's in the hands of Doug, on the track. Is you have a lot of nervous moments watching, or is it just another day at the office?
Well, that colt there, he usually all winter. He didn't really like to cut the miles that good, so I was a little concerned over that. But he was that way last week, and raced good doing it.
And he began his season racing at the gold level. I mean, do you think he ends up back there now for what he's shown?
Yeah, he'll likely go back in. He'll likely hit the next gold, and hope he continues on in there. It's hard to say what kind of a mile that was today. Here's pretty good wind and everything, and compared to the fillies, the colts got home real quick.
All right, well, congratulations, Greg. Now tied with Carl Jamieson, winningest trainer in the history of the race. Congratulations, and folks, there you have it. Team McNair getting it done in the Battle of Waterloo, as they've done so many times before. Sounds good. 2022 Battle of Waterloo champion.
A big congratulations going out to Greg and Doug McNair and the Connections, Mike and Sam Sergey of Canton, New York, the owners of Sounds Good. He's your 2022 champion. 520, decent return when all said and done from that inside post position. With Santana Hanover second, Exacta pays $120. The try, $234. How about the Super High Five? Nice return here in the finale, $4,107 for that $1 ticket. Great way to cap off the card. And the 11th, also final leg in those multi-leg wagers, both the pick 4 and the pick 5. Getting a look at the returns on those wagers as well. So that is going to do it for this afternoon. Again, we thank Rob Reed Jr., Mark McKelvey, and James McDonald for joining us here as well. So James, again, best of luck. The prognosis tomorrow, and you'll update us when you hear word when you'll be back.
Yeah, for sure. Hopefully it's good news, and if not, just keep your head up and keep grinding away and try and get better and back on the bike, and hopefully you guys be interviewing me in a couple months or weeks.
I'm sure we will. I'm sure we'll see you back sooner than later. But yeah, it's something you don't want to fool around with. You want to make sure you're ready to go, obviously, and come back 100% healthy. So thanks again for everyone who tuned in today. Hope you enjoyed the coverage. We'll take a look at what is coming up next as far as COSA-TV. We're going to be hitting the road this week, heading to the Meadowlands racetrack in East Rutherford, New Jersey, as part of Hamiltonian coverage for 2022. Excited about that. When we come back to Ontario at the end of August, we'll be at Georgian Downs for this year's edition of the Earl Road Trot, and then getting set for a busy stretch of races from Woodbine Mohawk Park starting in late September with the Mohawk Million. We've got Ontario Sire Stakes finals, and wedged in between that, we've got the Women's Drivers Challenge final at Western Fair in London, October 14th. Lots of great coverage still to come this season on COSA-TV. Thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.